Hi, welcome to Detours Understanding Acquired Brain Injury. And as you can see, my co host Lisa, and this is her um, series dealing with families and understanding just being families and working with and helping and our efforts with both ourselves and helping families to process and deal with survivorship and how they can help us as survivors and how we as survivors in turn can help them. Tonight, we'll be looking and talking about resources that families who are uh, just starting to figure this kind of thing out where they can turn, and both offline and online for different kinds of materials. So, Lisa, let's start. What do you think? Online or offline first?
Probably offline.
Okay, well, so let's do offline then. What are some of the different things that family members can turn to as far as offline resources?
Let's see. Well, social workers, um, rehab centers,
Hmm.
where, you know, the physical therapist, occupational therapist, what else?
And the physiatrists and the nurses, and this is mainly like when a person is first injured. Um, there are a lot of different resources right around them. Families need to engage and ask questions, and need to be assertive sometimes because they may end up feeling rushed by a doc or a PT, or they seem busy. And it's like, you need to know because their job is only for a brief amount of time. And you need to say, hey, look, I need to know now, and I need to know I need to know what we're going to do long term. And it is a requirement that there's discharge planning from get go. And so you are going to need to engage. Social workers are a good place to go, definitely. Or, there are some departments have discharge planners, but yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind. So what did your family do for, when you were at discharge point? Remember?
Um, let's see. I was at the JFK hospital for over a month.
Mhm.
So I had all my physical therapy, cognitive therapy, there.
Right.
So when I got home, I really didn't have, you know, really, I didn't go out of my way for resources. Maybe like a little bit to my sister-in-law because my brother had a brain injury.
Mhm.
She had suggested the Facebook page, you
Mhm.
know. But other than that, I didn't feel I really needed it back then.
Mhm.
It's only now, 4 years later, that things are starting to come up and I'm starting to, ask more people what they've done
Right.
or how they had the same problems. A lot of them had mentioned support groups. I even asked my therapist, actually.
Mhm.
That was another one.
Right.
That's another one you could talk to also for this, for resources.
I did for me, my big one is 30 years ago. And unfortunately, there wasn't as much awareness. Sure, there was some, but honestly, uh, unless you had a really severe brain injury, and even then, so there really wasn't. Sure, there were support groups, and that is something important you bring up. Is like support groups for brain injury. Most like rehab hospitals, there is a support group for traumatic brain injury, and also for families in many cases. And these will be important places to turn. But back then, not really. And so yeah, it's important. How about Justin, or your husband, or things? Where did he go? Who did he ask? Did he ask anyone for information, or didn't that?
Not to my knowledge,
Hmm.
because I was doing okay. I mean, I was, you know, as far as driving, I didn't really drive that much
Hmm.
until my depth perception got better.
Hmm.
That took a while. But other than that, is my therapist, she helped a lot, getting ideas from her, and she suggested the, support groups and all that.
Right.
Also, like another place is libraries, if you want to look stuff up. If you don't have a
Yeah,
computer, you can go online.
that's a good one.
What else?
Well,
Bookstore,
yeah,
if you're looking for certain books, but also talking to people,
yeah,
getting their opinion, where they've gone, what helped them. That's a big part.
definitely. So bookstores to look for books on traumatic brain injury, the old chicken soups for the souls. I don't know if they have those anymore, but yeah, in bookstores, yeah, people's stories of what they've survived. Libraries are a good one too. Your public library, whatever, they might have things you can get out about, yeah, as survivors. And yeah, and talking to people who are at the rehab where you're going through, ask, because not everyone's at the same stage you are. There may be, somebody lifting the red weights instead of the little light blue weights, and they've been doing rehab for a while. And ask them, hey, what are things that have worked for you? Talk to other family members, survivors, those who've been doing it for a while. Like, hey, can you make recommendations? Where is a good support group? Or where can we go? And maybe like recreation centers or other things. And perhaps for other disabilities, other kinds of invisible disabilities, because maybe groups that help with people with paralysis or depression or anxiety, because a lot of people with brain injury have these other problems that come with it. And but yeah, those are some really good ideas. So bookstores, library, talking to other people who've been through it is definitely a good one. Um, yeah, and of course the support groups is probably the best one, which includes online. So let's talk about some online resources too. So what are some things that you've found, as far as,
Well, also, I thought about something also is like,
yeah,
depending on if you have counties where you live, you could also find, like, within your county, if there's resources that you can go to instead, and, as well as in your town.
mhm,
If you have, besides the recreation center, usually they
mhm.
have for like the age, they help,
Oh, yeah,
you know, but you could also
Office of
go
the
through your
Aging or whatever,
county
yeah.
as well.
It's a good point, yeah. Office of the Aging or something like that, sure. Yeah, no,
Yes.
no, no, that's yeah, I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, there are disability offices and yeah, and families can ask for information as well as help from the county, things like that. That's a good point, yeah. And if you live in a larger urban area, the same thing, sure. Um, Again, a lot of stuff that I didn't really know. Yeah, and
And
my
also
dad,
maybe churches too.
yeah, yeah, your church, synagogue, temple, your mosque, whatever. Yeah, they can help too. And maybe there are people there who have it also, who have brain injury, and they just don't make that a public matter of discussion. But hey, maybe some help. One in
Yes.
20 people has permanent neurological injury from, you know, has acquired neurological injury. And so there's a good chance that somebody does. If you got more than 20
Mhm.
people in your,
Absolutely.
probably a couple. So yeah, hmm,
Everything helps.
yeah, it does. And those are definitely some good offline resources. And online, what are some things that you've used?
Well, I do use Facebook. Um,
Mm,
Within my town, I have a town page that
okay,
people,
town
post
page.
on, whether for recommendations or referrals, whatever the case may be for
Okay,
whatever. And that's always a good place too.
right.
If you're looking for physical therapist or whatever,
Mhm,
somebody has gone to one or whatever.
yeah,
And then this way at least you get a whole bunch. You call, and then you call your insurance company and then see who's covered. And then you go with that, from there.
yeah. That's a very good idea. And support groups online, there are a ton of those. There are lots of those.
Yes.
We met through one of those.
Oh yeah. Mm.
And you're regretting it since, right?
Yeah. No, not at all. Mm. And also, through the Facebook page, the traumatic brain injury page, my sister-in-law suggested that page for me when
Mhm.
my brother had his brain injury because they had gone on there also. So I
Mhm.
figured, yeah, why not, And that's a great page to go on
It is. It really is.
to
And
start
I've
with.
learned a lot. And I've made a point of trying to help people. We have our own page
Yes.
also where we try to help people. Um, the Detours Understanding Acquired Brain Injury, a group page that if you're interested, we put information there also. So
Yes.
please don't hesitate to go there, ask questions. It's small, just like our um, video, just like us posting videos on YouTube. And this is also another resource. But there are a lot of those kind of videos for survivors and for families that are out there. But this project that we're doing here with families is also an effort. Of course, there is uh, hmm, the big group for brain injuries, and I cannot think of their name right now. Duh.
The brain lines.
Yeah, the Brain Alliance and the Brain Injury Association of America. That's who I'm trying to think of. Yes, every
Yes.
state has one, and they have a web. I will put this stuff in links below. The Brain Injury Association of America and the state chapters. Yes, that
Yes.
they have. Yes, and so you can look up there as family members. They have a specific link within there for family resources, so you can find out like who therapists are and like information about what to expect. Because when survivors, when we're discharged home, we may face other challenges that we don't face in the hospital. Hospital is a highly structured environment. Home is different. Rules at home are different, and the way things so psychosocial problems become a thing. Interactions and without the like daily regimented schedule, things become different for us and more difficult, and we may not understand come home as much. So
Absolutely.
those kind of changes. There are legal services. Each state has one or two disability advocates who can help you fight against discrimination or occupational problems. I know you guys in New Jersey and we in Pennsylvania have um, the
Yes, they
like
do.
advocates, disability advocates, legal firms that are paid by the state to fight against discrimination. And more than that, if you need modifications or you have a problem with your elevator in your building or whatever, any kind of legal stuff, again, I will put links below for that. How about you? Any like have
Well,
you?
I will tell you, they are a great service, legal services. They will help everybody.
Yeah,
Definitely. They're very good.
yeah, no, I
But I've
mean
never had to contact those services,
me either, fortunately. But a lot of people
Yes.
do at work. That's a and work. The agency that helps people go back to work.
Yeah. The
Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. That's what it is. I knew it was
yes.
in there. I don't know. You have one in New Jersey. I'm sure
Yes, we do.
most states have one that helps with paying for rehabilitation as well as services and things you need so you can go back after you've suffered a brain injury. The Office of Vocational Rehabilitation helps you get back to work.
Yes, definitely.
Um, and with retraining, this is another state service provided for disabled people. It also helps, again, like with the legal services, and making sure that people with brain injury can go back. And it helps families as well with needs that they may need in order to help. Long term
Absolutely.
long-term services for if somebody is truly permanently disabled that cannot go back to work. There are services to assist getting the necessary Medicare and Medicaid funding that is needed, more legal type of services.
Yeah.
Because fighting to get disability funds is hard. And unfortunately, the disability services, they're not your friend necessarily. And so you may need extra help. And this is where these legal services come in. Check out um, check out your state's traumatic brain injury fund and the legal aspects. So just under the Department of Health in your state, look for under search traumatic brain injury resources and you will find, or acquired brain injury too, because states do also provide for people who have acquired brain injury due to like cardiac arrest or due to toxic exposure, things like that, occupationally related, and they can help you there as well. And resources for families dealing with changes and challenges and problems with that, very important.
Absolutely. And with
Any
disability attorneys, yeah, or at least filing for disability and waiting, it's very tiresome. And you really got to find the right attorney that takes care of that kind of thing.
Yes,
And you could be waiting a long time. So,
there are neuro lawyers, some lawyers that specialize in neuro injury and neuro cases. There aren't a whole lot of them, but they are out there. And you could see some advertised through YouTube and other means, but there are resources and they do some educational stuff. Um, Again, kind of like what I do and Lisa does and Kate does, and those of us who, work through detours. But there are a lot of informational resources for families out there, but you have to look for them. And like I said,
yes,
but there is
that's the
stuff for
biggest thing.
families.
It's researching.
Yeah. Yeah. But fortunately, there is now more stuff than there used to be. Back when the two of us were, there wasn't as much. But fortunately, there's been now a lot more. Do you have anything you want to add? Anything you think I may have forgotten or you wished to add from before?
Um, I think we pretty much, touched on all the, the offline and online resources to help, you know, and even like, with I was gonna add, with the town, like with the rec center, they help with
Mhm.
the aged,
Yeah.
basically if, you're looking for like a ramp or if you're looking for, a wheelchair, they will provide one for you,
Yes.
if you're, either paralyzed or whatever the case may be. So they will help you with that too. Definitely. That's about it though. I can't.
Yeah. I think so. The point is there's a lot of stuff out there if you reach out and don't hesitate to reach out for and like I said, sometimes your best support are those who've already been through it. Um, like I said, through I think for me the key was support groups, really. And finding friends, making friends with people who've been through it. As family of survivors, many of us, it's like you really feel kind of, I've got my privacy, whatever. But you'll find you struggle a lot if you don't make contacts with people who've been through it. We survivors, I always say, we are family. We survivors,
Yes,
but family of survivors are also their own kind of family. They know they've been through it. They get it. Reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's okay.
exactly.
It's hard. It is hard, and it is okay to ask for help. And speaking of that, don't hesitate to post below any suggestions if you have any ideas. If you know anything, if you can think of anything we haven't thought of, I'm sure there's tons of stuff we have not mentioned. Please below make comments to help
Yes.
other people. Um, would be appreciated. Any questions, anything else like that, please, for Lisa or for myself. Hello. Um,
Yes. We'll be happy to help you in any
Absolutely.
way we can.
Ask any groups, online or in person, too. Call your local rehab hospital. They too can help you. So
Yes.
that's pretty much it for this episode.
Mhm.
But next we will start to talk to family of survivors, asking them about what they wish they knew, suggestions and recommendations. Like I said, this series is Lisa's, wisdom here for and our interaction and things I've learned and she's learned, and it's like. But again, please feel free to contribute. Okay, so thank you, Lisa, and it's like
Thank you.
a lot of interesting things to keep an eye on, and so then please click like and subscribe if you found what you saw useful, and please share the videos with other people who may benefit, and
Yes.
please comment below. Don't forget to click the bell icon, and hope you have a good day.
Yep. Have a good day.
Bye.